It's happened to all of us. We've overfilled oil in some kind of machine, and then our options are either drain it through the main pan underneath the machine or use a siphon pump. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Today we're checking out a brand new siphon pump to see how it works. This is the Powerbuilt 6 liter or 6.3 quart fuel transfer pump. And I talked to the guy at O'Reilly's, and he thinks that the pump has enough power to overcome the viscosity of different types of oils. And in the application I'm going to be using it today, I'm going to be using it to siphon out some hydraulic oil from my MT242 Extractor. So this is what it looks like in all of its glory. It's actually pretty easy to put together. This pump just sits on top of this cap. So this little cap pops off, and then the pump goes on here. Now, I'm assuming this goes in here. If you did not want to use this reservoir and you just need to take a small amount out, you could put this on and then draw a small amount out and then discharge it into the container of choice. So this pump goes on here, and then this end goes into the oil tank or gas tank or whatever kind of fluid that you're going to siphon. And then this just kind of pops off. It's kind of just tension mounted on there. So once you get this bad boy filled up, you can go ahead and put it back into its original container through this pour valve right here. So this is the hydraulic tank reservoir right here at the back of the tractor. Just going to put this guy in. All right. There we go. That's me. It's flowing now. Hold this in position with one hand. And look at that. It's flowing right through there. And you can see that suction is drawing it out and into this receptacle. It's kind of a slow operation. You can hear there's some oil in there. You could definitely overfill your machine way faster than you can draw it back out using this method. There we go. It's filled all the way up to the top line there. And I'm thinking before I disconnect it, I should make sure that it's not really moving any fluid, which I think it's kind of come to a stop. Now this took about almost 30 minutes to fill this up. Now I would pump it up the pressure, and then I would leave and kind of mess around with some other stuff, and then come back a couple minutes later, pump it back up, so that way it could just kind of draw slowly. If you had the patience and you wanted to continue to pump during the whole cycle, you probably could cut that fill time at least in half. All right, so let's take the pump off here. This out here, and what I'm wondering is that because the girth of this little oil extractor is so small, I'm wondering if you wanted to extract more quickly, if you could disconnect this and use this bigger plastic hose right in the reservoir. So that's the next thing that I'm gonna check. So I'm just gonna see if I can get this off. There we go. And now you can use this pour to return that oil to whatever receptacle you want. Don't mind the grass cutting. Job's still got to get done around here. Honestly, I'm not really very impressed with the speed. You have to take out a lot of oil. I got this fish tank tubing, and that is the little nozzle that's supposed to hook up to the pump itself. I put that over this opening, and then I ran some electrical tape to create a seal. And I'm going to put this in there and see if the girth on this hose is going to be able to suck things out a little bit faster. Oh yeah, I can see some. Yeah, we already have a decent amount in there. This is going to work way faster. And look at that. This took 4 minutes to fill. So if you're going to get this particular model, I would suggest either you cut that little end off. I would try to pull it apart. I couldn't actually get it apart, but I had this 1/2 inch clear tubing, like this is like aquarium tank tubing or something. I had this, so I just taped it to the spout, and I was able to pump this entire reservoir here full in 4 minutes instead of like 30 minutes with the other one. So this is much more practical when you're transferring liquids like gasoline or something. You want to take it out of the tank to winterize it. I would recommend switching the tubing. So now I got to get all this hydraulic fluid back in the tractor, because I certainly didn't need to take out that much, but I wanted to make sure I could demonstrate the functionality of this siphon pump. Now, I like this little pump. It did the job that I needed it to do, and I like to be able to have a way to take fluids out of something, especially if I accidentally overfill it, because yesterday I just was not paying attention. So it worked really great. The only drawback is that the tube that comes with it sucks. There's no way around that. My suggestion, if you want to get the job done fast, is just to cut this little section right here, cut that plastic tubing and get rid of that little thin oil is what they call it. It's an oil transfer cable. Depending on the viscosity, maybe you need a smaller opening for oil if it's thicker to allow it to, you know, be siphoned. But for the application I used it for today, and definitely for gasoline, having something with a wider hose is going to make the job a lot faster. Go ahead and switch it up to a 1/2 inch hose and just tape around the little cone adapter like I did if you want to fill this puppy up in about 4 minutes. But all in all, pretty good product. I'll leave a link in the description below if you guys want to check it out, or if you guys know of a better siphon pump, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for new stuff. Hit the like button before you go, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you later.